Hello YouTube. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you'll already know how much I love the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. I've got countless phones to choose from, but this is still the one I choose to keep in my pocket every day. And the reason is because it's almost like having an actual camera that fits in your pocket. But professional cameras need professional accessories, and while the photography kit is a good start, it's not the most ergonomic, and it's very limited with its tactile controls. What if you want to take this to the next level? Tilta has built this insane cinema rig for the Find X9 Ultra, and I haven't seen any proper reviews on it so far. We're going to change that today, so let's find out what this is all about. Okay, so let's take a look at what comes in the box. As you can see, it's a nice graphic packaging, and it's a very heavy box, so before I even open it, it feels like you're getting a quality product. We have some confusing text on the side. I don't know what that means, but it sounds impressive. So first we need to slide off this outer sleeve. Then we've got another more plain looking box underneath that says One Man Film Studio on it. Very slow Apple style box removal. There we go. So here's our first layer. We've got the lens attachment plate for the telephoto converter. Slightly different shape. Here's the one that comes with Oppo's kit, and I always think it looks like a happy smiley face. This face is more shocked or grimacing, but otherwise they are quite similar. We'll have to check if they're cross-compatible in a moment. 67mm filter thread adapter if you want to use UV filters, ND filters, anything like that. We have the phone case. It's a very substantial unit, all made from metal. So it comes with a plain ring, and then you can either swap that for your lens attachment or the filter thread. See how the filter thread fits on here. Same thing as usual, little red dot. And we've got a mark on the ring. Line them up and twist. Got lots of cutouts on the sides for the modular accessories that will also be in this box. So this lever on the top locks the case closed. If you flick it this way, you can then slide the fronter part of the frame off. So this will protrude in front of the glass and protect the front of the phone as well as the rear. And we've got a sticky peel here. And this will be our thermally conductive material to draw the heat away from the back of the phone, which is a very good thing on the Oppo because it does get quite hot. So now just grab the phone, we'll drop it in place. Quite a nice fit. Yeah, and then you just push it down and flick that up to lock it. And there we have it. There's the basis of our new video rig. I have seen people on Reddit saying they're using this just as a phone case. That seems a bit mad to me. This makes your phone so big and heavy. I guess the flip side of that is it is well protected from all angles, aside from all these cutout holes. But you know, you could use it as a case. I think I would just get this out for video shooting rather than leaving it on all the time. So let's go down a layer. And here is all our accessories. We've got our cooling plate with a fan built in. And the really clever thing about this design is it just uses pogo pins for like everything. So I'm not sure how it draws power from the phone or if it draws power from the grip. We'll figure it out as we go along. But anyway, this has got some little locating pins, thermally conductive material and pogo pins, and it just magnetically attaches to the back of the phone like that. The next piece of the puzzle is this grip. And it is weighty. This is all milled out of like aluminium material. Got a nice massive record button at the top, as well as a USB-C and microphone input. Big, oh, buttery smooth scroll wheel. I do like the way that feels. Can probably use that for zoom. This part is all rubberized and sculpted. More pogo pins and a USB-C tucked in here, hidden away. We've got some kind of locking button here, as well as a little function button. And I believe this will just clip into the base of the phone. Yeah, it just clips into the base of the phone like that. And once it's in place, slide that down to lock it. And it's already starting to look like a monster. And now it's seriously heavy, which will help keep it stabilized. Then we've got an additional handle for the other side. This one looks to be very adjustable, and it's a bit more simple. There's no electronics, but there's a 1/4-20 on the top and the bottom. We've got the same quick release system. So yeah, let's just clip this in. So yeah, we'll use this side of the phone, clip it on the top, slide that down to lock it in place. And then I think, yeah, we can twist this around. So it's very adjustable. You can use it sideways in this orientation or the other way around. It locks in like 90-degree locations. Then we have this piece right here with the same quick latching mechanism. The same slide to lock. This has got a Q20 on it, and it's also just a flat base. We'll figure it out in a moment. And right here, we have a cold shoe with the same quick release mechanism. So we can just pop that on the top and lock it in place. And we've got a cold shoe so we can mount a light or a microphone or whatever else. And I think the final piece of our kit is this tripod, which actually feels a little bit less premium than the other parts of this kit. This is just made from plastic, but it does have a locking mechanism, so that'll stay shut until you press this button. Then these feet can come apart. Also got some height adjustment, then Q20 at the top, and it's a regular ball head with this thing on the side to lock it in place. So there we have it. Here's our beefy video rig for the Find X9 Ultra, and I'm going to go away and figure out how all this works, and I will get back to you in just a moment. Alright, so it's about a week later. I've been playing with this kit a lot, and I think I should start by clearing up a few things I didn't really understand when I was doing the unboxing. The first is with this little tripod, which as I said is quite basic, but I misunderstood what this button thing was. This is actually like an auto-deploying tripod, so when you put it down and you hit that button, it springs open. I love these kind of tripods, so that's actually cooler than I thought it was. The second is this little plate, which has the tripod adapter on the bottom. This is actually Arca Swiss compatible, so if you have a tripod with an Arca Swiss clamp, it will clamp in place. I love that because I got a lot of Arca Swiss tripods, so that's a bit cooler than I thought it was as well. Now, as for how this rig works as a whole, it's quite interesting. So this grip is a power bank, as you might expect. Most of these grip style handles are, but it actually has two separate power systems. The first is this set of pogo pins, which connect to the pogo pins on the base of the phone, and that supplies power to any of the accessories that have pogo pins on the phone. So yeah, for this kit, it's just this magnetic fan that uses the pogo pins for power. But there are other Tilta accessories. I think they've got a light, they've got like some kind of USB-C hub. There's all kinds of things in this ecosystem. So yeah, anything with the pogo pins will be powered by the grip on its own. The grip is Bluetooth, so this connects to your phone over Bluetooth, and this little hidden cable here, which is kind of hard to get out actually, this pulls out and it can plug straight into the phone, but that's just to charge the phone. It's extendable and you can push it further in to keep things neat, but it fits perfectly into the Find X9 Pro like this, so you won't see any cable hanging out, which is quite nice. And the way I showed it initially is probably the most logical, just clamping it onto the base of the phone, but there's also contacts on the side. So if you're filming vertically, you can mount it like this, and you can even mount the phone upside down and have it that way. And no matter which location you choose, there are pogo pins, so you can distribute the power that way. One thing I didn't realize when I first started playing around with this is that all your accessories need to go on this way around. So the little push button and the lever need to be on the screen side of the phone, otherwise they won't go on properly. But as long as they're the right way around, it's really quick and easy to attach and detach all these different accessories. Because I've been filming for YouTube, I've mainly been using it in landscape mode. And this secondary handle, I've either been having on the opposite side as like a bit of a fig rig, or especially when I'm using the telephoto lens, I like to have it on top and use it as a top carry handle, bit like you'd see on an old school camcorder. That could be nice for low angle shots as well, but I've just been using it because I like to keep my hand on the lens barrel when I'm filming with the telephoto converter, and that just gets it out of the way, and it's quite useful for carrying the whole rig around, you know. So this cooling fan, as you know, just magnets onto the back of the phone. To turn the grip on, you long press the power button and you'll see these lights come on, and they'll show you how much charge you've got. Then you got two buttons on the fan. The one on the right turns it on and off, and this selects your speed. You've got three different modes. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. And 3 is quite loud. You might be able to hear it. I'll point it at the mic. But yeah, I feel like you might be able to hear 3 in the footage, so we will test that. I will also test how good of a job it does cooling the phone down. I'll just run some benchmarks or something like that. I also forgot to mention this little silver bit here. This is just a pass-through for the camera control button on the phone, so you can still use this to zoom in and out in the camera app and press it to take a photo. It just passes straight through the case. So cool that they thought of that. As for the other controls, the record button is self-explanatory, and the scroll wheel will zoom by default, and it works in both the standard camera app and Blackmagic camera. It works just the same. So you can just scroll in this wheel, will just smoothly zoom between the different lenses. Then this function button up here, if you press that, it will try and switch it into manual focus mode, but you have to be in a mode that supports manual focus. So we'll go into master mode, pro settings. So once you're in master mode, press this function button and it'll switch into manual focus control, and you get really fine adjustment, which could be useful. What I don't like though is that you can't use this with the telephoto converter, because that doesn't support manual focus in the app, and that would be really good. So Oppo, if you happen to see this, please give us manual focus controls in the teleconverter mode, and then I think this will just work. Okay, so it's a different day. Sorry for breaking your immersion, but the reason for that is I was having real trouble with this microphone input on the handle, and I've now figured it out, so I'll explain what you need to get this working. Most microphone cables look like this. This type of 3.5mm jack is called TRS because it's got a tip, a ring and a sleeve. And to get this kit working, you need TRS on the microphone side, just like normal. But on the other side, you need TRRS, which is tip, 2 rings and a sleeve, 3 black lines on it rather than 2. But as long as you've got this TRRS style jack on the handle side, you should be able to just plug it in and have it work. I've used it with this, which I've had for ages, the Movo Mini, this microphone. I've also used it with the DJI Mic 2 receiver. The only other thing you need to know is that you do need the USB-C plugged into the phone for the microphone input to work, which isn't too surprising. This USB-C port here can provide pass-through power to the phone, and it can obviously charge the internal battery on the grip. But there's no data pass-through on it. So if you want to use like a USB-C microphone receiver, you can't do that. You will need to use the 3.5mm jack instead, which isn't really a problem in most situations. So to test out the performance of this little cooling fan, I ran 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme Stress Test a few times. First, I did it with the phone naked, not in the case or anything, to give us a baseline result of what to expect. As you can see, we only got 41.6% stability, which isn't too impressive. You can see on this graph how the performance dropped, and the temperature got up to 48 degrees, which isn't that bad, but in reality the phone was really hot to the touch, like almost concerningly hot, so you wouldn't want to hold the phone while it's under that kind of load. Then I ran it with the case and the fan, and I had the fan on its max strength the whole time, and that took the score up to 83.9% stability, which is crazy, and dropped the temperature all the way down to 39 degrees C. If you don't know, this benchmark runs for 20 minutes straight. It's a very intensive benchmark, and the fact that it stayed under 40 degrees is crazy. But it did use a lot of power. The indicators on this grip went from 4 bars to 2 bars in the space of about 20 minutes. So really, you don't want to be running it on full whack all the time. So finally, I ran the test again, but this time I used the fan on its lowest setting, so it's not drawing as much power, not making as much noise. And that got me 77.8% stability with a max temperature of 40 degrees Celsius. Not bad at all, barely different really. So most of the time, you'll really only need to run the fan on low speeds. And if you're live streaming or just shooting a long interview, I can't imagine this phone overheating with the fan attached. Okay, so this is a sample clip using the built-in microphones on the phone. I'm just going to show you how loud this fan is on all its different modes. It is quite audible with the built-in mic. So here's level 1, which shouldn't be too loud. Level 2, which you might hear a bit more. And level 3 is just going to completely kill the internal audio on this phone, but it will keep the phone cold. Now here's another sample, but this time I've got a shotgun mic plugged in, the Movo Mini, and I think it should improve things quite a bit. So here's level 1. Here's level 2. And level 3 is definitely still going to be audible, but maybe slightly better. Obviously, if you use a wireless mic, like the DJI mic, for example, then you can get around this problem as long as you're far enough away from the camera. But yeah, worth noting that this fan will be audible, especially if you ramp it up. Okay, so to demonstrate what kind of difference this kit makes for video stabilization, I've turned off the stabilization completely. No OIS, no EIS, nothing. And I'm just using the phone completely naked, no case or anything. holding it as still as I can. And I'll just take a few steps forward to show you what that looks like. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing, but I'm using the grip handle on one side and the accessory handle on the other, so I've got like a fig rig. Just standing still, holding it as steady as I can. And now I'll take a few steps forward. So the Tilta Khronos kit for the Oppo Find X9 Ultra, what do I think? My main concern with this kit was that it's going to be style over substance and it's just basically overpriced camera bling. But to my surprise, when I went out and shot those clips at the bird sanctuary yesterday, I used almost every single feature on this kit. You might know that it's been a bit of a heatwave in the UK lately, and after shooting at 4K 120 for a few minutes, the Oppo Find X9 Ultra started overheating, but thankfully we had that active fan, just turned that on and it sorted everything right out. Of course, the ergonomics and the weight mean that you can keep the phone super stable, and I also found myself using this little scroll wheel to manual focus because I was shooting through fences and the autofocus couldn't always keep up. But with this you get really fine granular control, and it's much easier than using the touchscreen controls to adjust the focus. So yeah, everything on the kit works really well. But is it worth spending nearly $400 on? That all depends on you and your needs. What I can say is that it's all extremely high quality, it feels like it's worth the money, and I've really enjoyed using it. I do wish that Tilta would release a kit like this for the Vivo X300 Ultra, because that is my favourite phone for video shooting, and this is a very video focused rig. The Oppo is obviously great for video as well, but yeah, if I had one wish, that would be it. I am interested in exploring more of this Khronos ecosystem. They've got kits that work with the iPhone, they've got a bunch of different accessories that should work with the Oppo as well. So let me know if you're interested in seeing that, and if you like this kind of thing, get subscribed because there's always more fun stuff on the way, and I will catch you in the next one. Toodles.